Hello VC, what's going on? It's me, Will, and yes, I'm finally back this time to do my top 10 albums of 2018 video. And I know I'm really late to post this video. I initially intended to make and post this video by the end of the year, like I normally do, but this year just things got a little bit too busy during the holidays and New Year. That I didn't get any time really to post the video. But anyways, I wanted to make sure I did a video for you guys. It's been a great year in music. Maybe not as great as it was back in 2017. But anyways, it was a great year for indie rock music, for punk rock music. Great year for new music in general. So yeah, I'm gonna show you in this video my top 10 albums of 2018. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, coming up at number 10 is the return of the great punk rock band, the Hot Snakes, and they came back with another fantastic album called Jericho Sirens. This one came out on Sub Pop Records, and I think I talked about this record before in one of my last videos. It's everything that you would expect from a band like the Hot Snakes. Super fast-paced, catchy punk rock music. You really can't go wrong with the Hot Snakes. They really haven't released any bad albums in the past, and this record also lives up to the standard of the Hot Snakes. And I really love the artwork on this one too, with the shiny or reflective cover. It's maybe my favorite artwork of my top 10 albums of the year too. Yeah, fantastic music from the Hot Snakes. Let's check it out. So speaking of bands that haven't really released any bad albums, at least in the last few years, coming up at number 9 is the newest record from Superchunk, the indie rock band from North Carolina. And this is their newest album called What a Time to Be Alive, and it came out on Merge Records just a few months ago in 2018. This one came in really cool color vinyl that I think I showed in one of my past videos. And again, everything that you would expect from a band like Superchunk. These guys have been around for so long and they have released so many good albums. This one is no exception. It's fantastic, fast-paced indie rock music. Very catchy, lots of great guitar riffs in this one. There's really no bad songs in this one, but the ones that I really like the most are songs like I Got Cut, What a Time to Be Alive, and in particular a song called Reagan Youth, which, well, Superchunk has always been a band that is very political, but in this case they apply a lot of their politics towards the more current events, and that song is a very good song with lots of great lyrics. Let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, up next at number 8 is the newest album from the Omaha, Nebraska band Cursive, and this is their newest album called Vitriola. And this one came out on 15 Passenger Records back in 2018. And this one came in really cool color vinyl as well that I wanted to show you guys, even though I think I showed it also in one of my past videos. Orange vinyl. Great sounding record. And in case you are not familiar with Cursive, they're known for having their very big, epic, very explosive kind of sound. And almost all their albums are about some kind of concept theme. Again, this one is also following the same style, and it's just a very well composed record overall. That's why it made it to my top 10 albums of the year. Great new album from the rock band Cursive. Let's check it out.
Farms evolved into corporations. Corporations left us all to starve, and in the end, we'll start again. Apocalypse will level every monopoly and monolith. Ouroboros.
Alright, coming up at number 7 is the newest album from Hopalong, and this one's called Bark Your Head Off, Dog, and it came out on Saddle Creek Records. And I picked this one up on CD only, even though I should have picked it up on vinyl. Because this is such a beautiful sounding record from start to finish. It's just an amazing sounding record. The voice of the singer is just incredibly beautiful, super catchy. It's one of those records that when you finish hearing it, it just leaves you wanting a little bit more. And I'm definitely gonna end up picking up a little bit more of Hop Along because I really enjoyed this one, and I'm a little bit of a new fan. But this is an amazing sounding album. I highly recommend that you check it out. Coming up at number 7, Hop Along. Alright, coming up at number 6 is the newest album from Cloud Nothings, the indie rock band. They came out with a new album called Last Building Burning, and it came out on Car Park Records. Another album with a great cover, with the reflective cover too. A great album from Cloud Nothings. Their last album was also amazing. It came out a few years ago. This one is great as well. A very heavy guitar-driven sound, very dark album as well. But they do something really well, which I really enjoy, where they combine very heavy guitar music with lots of great melodies with the voice of the singer, and they do that really well. And I saw them live this year as well. They did that, and it was just an amazing concert. I had to include it into my top 10 albums of the year. Check out Cloud Nothings. Alright, moving on to my top 5 albums of the year. Another record that was released by Car Park Records. A great year for that label. It's the newest album from Speedy Ortiz, the Massachusetts indie rockers. This is their newest album called Twerp Verse, and again on Car Park Records. I saw them live earlier last year, so I got it signed by Sadie, the lead singer of the band. Came in on a really nice gatefold, and the record itself is awesome. Came in on a really cool color vinyl. Check that out. And the music matches the vinyl, believe it or not. It's a very pop-oriented indie rock album. In this record, they try something a little bit different, where they add a lot of electronic sounds into their music. Ends up working very well, in my opinion. Maybe not as good as their last album that came out 2 years ago, Foil the Year, which was also included in my top 10 albums of 2017. This one is maybe not as good, but it's still really, really good. They're definitely trying new things, which is a good thing for new bands, trying to experiment with new music. They do that really well. Yeah, a really great album from Speedy Ortiz. Check it out. Alright, coming up at number 4, and this one was the biggest surprise of the year, in my opinion, in the world of music. If you had asked me maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that I would be talking about this band in 2018, especially in my top 10 albums of the year video, I would tell you that you're completely crazy, because this band has been around for a very long time. This is one of the bands that I really got when I got started listening to music. I started listening to this band, and I loved them. I loved everything about them, and I still think that a lot of their first few albums are some of the best pop punk albums ever made. But later on, when it came into the early mid 2000s, they released so many bad albums, and a lot of those albums haven't aged very well either. And I thought that this band was completely done back then in the mid 2000s. But believe it or not, MXPX came back in 2018 with an amazing pop punk album. This may be their best record. They came back in 2018 with a self-titled album, self-released, as a crowdfunded campaign. I picked it up on CD only because my entire collection is on my entire MXPX collection is on CD. But yeah, this is a fantastic pop punk album. If you're into pop punk music, good pop punk music, you will love this record by MXPX. I cannot highlight that anymore. Great new music from MXPX, super fast-paced, catchy, melodic punk. Skate punk that was very popular back in the 90s. They come back and they sound as fresh as they can be. Great album for the summer, great album for a road trip, a very fun album. They don't stick to their old lyrics or their old themes from back in the 90s. They show a little bit more maturity in the lyrics of the new album. But still with the same fun that the music from MXPX had back in the day. Great new record from MXPX. Let's check it out.
3 a.m. on a Monday, rolling strong. The road gets crazy hazy, you've been on it too long. Rolling in this big ass van, trying to get some more baseball.
Alright, coming up at number 3 is the newest record from Courtney Barnett. No surprises here. This record has been included in just so many best of lists of 2018. Great new record from the singer-songwriter from Australia. This one's called Tell Me How You Really Feel, and it came out on Mama Pop Records. Really great new album from Courtney. Her last album was also included in my top 10 albums of the year back in 2017 or 16, I can't remember. I actually think that this record is better than her last album, and I know a lot of people would disagree with me because her last album was just so good. I like this one a little bit better. I think her lyrics are a little bit stronger. They're really good at reflecting today's current events. Lots of feminist lyrics that she does really so well. And the music is as catchy as it can get. Lots of great tunes here, no bad songs.
The city looks pretty when you've been indoors for 23 days. I've ignored all your phone calls, and everyone's waiting when you get back home.
Alright, so if you watch a lot of my videos, you may know the next band that I'm gonna talk about in my number 2 album of 2018. Of course I had to include this one in my list. This is the newest album or the debut album by The Long Shot, Love Is For Losers. And this one came out as a self-release by the band just a few months ago. The surprise side project from Billie Joe Armstrong from Green Day. And of course, being a huge Green Day fan, I had to pick this one up. But yeah, I honestly believe, Green Day fanhood aside, I do believe that this is the second best album of the year. I think this is what Billie Joe Armstrong would do as a solo project or as a side project without all the expectations and all the requirements that people expect from a band like Green Day. People are always expecting so much from Green Day as far as being faster, about being more punk or things like that. And this, he throws all the pressure aside and he said, I'm just gonna do something that I really want to do. I want to do something very melodic. I want to do something very catchy, something that I'm good at doing. And he accomplishes everything and more in this record. This is a fantastic pop punk album from The Long Shot. Again, no bad songs in here. I love the startup, how this record starts up with songs like Taxi Driver, Chasing a Ghost, Love Is For Losers. It's a fantastic tune. And the ending of this record is fantastic. They end up with a cover song from Ozzy Osbourne, a song called Goodbye to Romance that they do really well. Highly recommend that you check out this record by The Long Shot, at number 2 in my top 10 albums of the year.
Shit somewhere out of your jurisdiction. Are we alone and are we all wherever now? Taxi driver, I'm rolling. Taxi driver, I'm rolling. Taxi.
All right, it's time for my number one album of 2018. And I talked quite a bit about this record when it came out early in 2018. This is the newest album from the Screaming Females, the fantastic punk rock band from New Jersey. And this is their newest album called All at Once. And they came out on Don Giovanni Records. I also got it signed by the band members of Screaming Females when they came into town a few months ago. Great artwork as usual, drawn by Marisa Paternoster from the Screaming Females, and came in also on as a double vinyl, double LP with a really cool gatefold. Amazing album by the Screaming Females. This may be my favorite album by the band. They have been around for quite a bit of time now. Almost every other year they just release something really good. This one may be my favorite album by them. This may also be the most accessible album from the Screaming Females, in a way that they really implement a lot of melodic sound into their music. I also love the lyrics in this record. They talk a lot about current events and people being a little bit too much too connected. That's why the title of the album is called All at Once, with all the interconnections around. Maybe being too connected by the internet, that is just making us bad people at the same time. But the lyrics are very strong, the lyrics are very powerful, and the best part about this record and about every album by the Screaming Females is, of course, the great guitars from Marisa Paternoster. She may be the best guitar player out there in music right now. She can just shred so hard, and every riff that she comes up with this record is just so good and so addictive in a way that it almost leaves you wanting a little bit more after each song. And no bad songs in this record. Again, very melodic, or as melodic as it can get for a Screaming Females record. But I highly recommend that you check out this record. My number one album of the year, Screaming Females with All at Once. Alright guys, that's it for me for 2018 at least. Another great year in music. Thanks for watching my top 10 albums of 2018 video. I've really been enjoying your videos as well when you wrap up your top 10 top albums of the year as well. Lots of great new VC channels. Great to be part of this community again in 2018. Hopefully I'll be back soon, later in January, to talk about some pickups that I did in the last few months. I also wanted to give you a quick link to my website where I posted my top 20 concerts that I went to in Atlanta in 2018. So check that out. Again, thank you for watching and take care. Bye bye.